Hello, and welcome to what promises to be another pretty bad video explaining some weather things. I got my friend Farmer Bob here today, and he's going to help us talk about weather fronts, what happens, why they do what they do, what precipitation they make, and what kind of weather they leave behind, and why all these things happen. All right, so here's Farmer Bob, right? He's at the surface, okay, and he happens to be surrounded by a cold air mass, okay. So here he is, he's just chilling in his cold air mass. Notice how these black dots that represent air particles are all pretty close together, okay, indicating higher pressure. And higher pressure means that the air particles are pretty dense and they want to sit close to the ground. Okay, it's a heavier air mass. All right, but what I'm going to model for you is what happens when a warm air mass wants to take over this place that the cold air is currently sitting in. And when the warm air mass takes over and replaces the cold air mass, okay, you get what's called a warm front, named after the air mass that's coming in. So here we go. So Farmer Bob is in his cold air mass, and here comes a warm air mass. Now, what you're going to notice is that the warm air is spread apart further because it has more thermal energy, making it lower pressure and less dense. So compared to the cold air, it's going to want to rise up. It still needs to get the cold air out of the way. But it can only do it from above. So watch what happens. All right, so once the warm air starts to rise above the colder air, that's the only time it can actually push the cold air away. And after it does, it leaves behind for Farmer Bob this much warmer air. Notice, because the particles of the air are spread further out, that's more room for water vapor to get in. So Farmer Bob is now stuck in this hotter air with much more humidity. Okay, it's much more unpleasant weather for Farmer Bob now. Focusing in on one more time, while the air mass is pushing the other one out of the way, okay, you have this sort of angular boundary. This is the front. Whenever the front is over Farmer Bob, okay, he's experiencing precipitation. Okay, now being on top means that the warm air mass cannot get rid of the cold air mass quickly, so the precipitation takes a long time. And the force that the warm air is pushing the cold air with is pretty gentle, meaning that the precipitation itself is going to be on the gentler side. Okay? So now our farmer is sitting in this warm, yucky air mass. I want to model for you what happens when a cold air mass comes in. Okay? And this would make what we call a cold front. Cold air is heavier than the warm air because it's more dense, higher pressure, right? So the cold air comes in low, close to the ground, and watch what it does. Notice how quickly and aggressively it gets rid of the warm air. Okay, that quick change is pretty violent, which means that the precipitation that it creates is also going to be on the violent side and aggressive. So when a cold front occurs, it's quick. But when it's going on, when you're on the surface where the cold front is, you're going to be experiencing some pretty severe storms. Hold on, I lost my warm air. Okay, so again, lower, high pressure that's lower to the ground comes in from underneath and boom, like a big punch, pushes up the warm air and gets it out of the way. And that violent, quick precipitation occurs. So let's model this as the summertime. Okay? Today, for Farmer Bob, it's about 78 degrees. It's the middle of July. 78 degrees. It's beautiful sunny skies. All that high pressure air is making the weather beautiful. Okay? For a couple of days. Now, this warm air is trying to make its way into the area, and it does, and it slowly pushes. Right now, the farmer is experiencing precipitation. Very gentle. Notice how the front's taking a while to pass. Okay? Once the warm air gets rid of the cold air, it's still, the weather outside now is going to be like 94 and humid, cloudy, just gross, like horrible summer day where you just like want to be in the air conditioning. Okay? Hot, hot, humid, humid. This. All right? Oppositely, think about a summer day when it's been hot for like 4 days straight, and then all of a sudden you get thunderstorms. And then when the thunderstorms are over, the skies become blue and you have nice cooler weather. Well, that's because you just witnessed the quick action of a cold front. Okay? So to show you in using Farmer Bob's sketches, okay, here is the warm front. Notice how Farmer Bob right now is in this cooler air that's heavier and low to the ground. Okay, as the warm air approaches, he's now experiencing that precipitation. Notice the clouds are over his head. It takes a long time, and now he's stuck in that hot, humid air as it replaces the cold air. Okay, so being stuck in that hot, humid air, okay, here comes a cold front. As it approaches, notice that the storm's over right away, and he's in this cold air. All right, so hopefully that helps with all the different types of things you looked at today. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll answer them. Thanks.